Hello and welcome to As Yet Untitled. I'm Alan Davies. This is the show where I get to talk to four very funny people about whatever we like. We don't have any agenda and they don't have anything to flog particularly. We're just here to just to try and come up with a title for the show. And to do that, I need my guests. So please, will you welcome them? Welcome to you all now. Who we have here? We have Sarah Kendall here. Sarah Kendall has upset rock royalty. Sarah Kendall is here. John Thomson is here. John Thomson closed Euro 96 and once had socks with Victor Meldrew. John Thomson is here. Fantastic to have Matt Lucas with us. Matt Lucas knows a lovely place to stay in Denmark. So that's good. Very good. And Stu Goldsmith. Stu has a lucrative sideline in men's toilets. It's true. Slightly. Are you the right temperature? Because this is the moment where we can adjust it.
I think I'm going to get hot.
You think you're hot?
Yep.
I think the aircon is on now.
Okay. I can't take this jacket off, though.
Why? What happens?
The T-shirt smells a bit.
I don't care.
You don't mind? John? Do you mind?
No, I like that. You know, that's like the song, Feel Like a Natural Woman.
Yes.
You probably smell like one.
I definitely smell like a natural woman.
OK.
But it's no.
Sounds like we're all for it. So
really?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm not.
You're not for it?
No,
I think you're at a safe distance.
Yeah. Well, OK. Well, we'll see.
Do you find performance shirts get a funny smell about them?
That's your gig shirt at the moment, is it?
Yeah.
What's on it? Who's it?
Oh, it's just Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, it's just Fleetwood Mac.
It's just Fleetwood Mac. But I don't know. I think performance sweat, it's a bit smellier.
It's a different smell. You think it's a different scent?
Yeah, it is. I think it smells a bit like cat piss. It's got a scent of panic or something in it. That's
totally different. The natural woman I'm all right with.
Yeah.
But if you're going to take that off and smell like a litter tray...
Yeah. You make me feel
I'm
like...
against it. So, look, tell me about when you've upset rock royalty. What happened there?
Well, I was in the Hare and Tortoise one day, just having... in a restaurant with my kids, and Brian May came in. And there was, like, this, palpable excitement. Everyone was like, and he's got this iconic mane of hair, and people were trying to be cool, but everyone, had sort of clocked him. And he was sitting at the next table, and my daughter was just staring at him. She's 5, and she just couldn't take her eyes off him.
Massive Brian May fan.
Yeah. And then she just said really loudly, "Mummy, why is that old lady wearing a wig?"
Amazing. That's so great.
I said, "Shut your face!" But I don't know. I think he might have heard it. I don't think he gave a shit, to be honest. He's Brian May. He gives a shit.
That would have been good if he'd just taken it off.
And it turned out to have been an old lady in a wig. That would have been great.
It's always fascinated me as a style. It's because it's only him has it. I don't know anyone else kind of wants to emulate it. I can appreciate the length here, but it does beg the question, is it a piece?
I don't think so. I think it's real.
It's
it looks
real.
very real to me.
I really don't think it's a piece.
I've always thought he looks like a Vic Reeves drawing of Brian May. Do you know what I mean? He looks like a kind of a character. It's all sort of elongated, isn't it?
That is extraordinary, though, when you're sitting across from someone and you just think, I can hum, like, guitar solos that are such a part of our culture, and they're so famous, and there's just this person sitting
You can
there.
hum guitar solos?
I can hum... I wish I hadn't said it like that now. But
I'm pleased you did, because now you can.
Yeah. No, I can't actually.
Go on.
Okay.
What about Hello, Lionel Richie, the acoustic one?
No, that's the song. Can you sing it?
That's sort of like that.
The good thing is you only have to pay permission if it genuinely sounds like the tune. So the copyright, so you're fine.
We're fine.
Oh, right,
That won't cost us anything.
No, it was good.
I'm a drummer, really, so...
You are a great drummer,
Yeah, that's
actually.
not my...
Are you?
I'd
Really?
say
I'm a
drum,
proper
yeah.
drummer, yeah.
Do you still drum regularly?
No, not as much as I should.
Have you got the kit set up
I've
at
got
home?
two. I've got an acoustic, which is a Gretsch, and then I've got a digital TD20. It's a
I've
Roland.
been wondering about whether to get one, a
Well,
digital one.
are you detached or are you semi?
Right, OK.
Making this up.
This is
not real.
no, this is serious. Neighbours are an issue.
He's talking about neighbours. He's actually means houses.
Not detached kits.
Oh, OK.
You can't have a semi-detached drum kit.
Well,
You could.
that was my point.
I think it's a really childish thing. When everybody says semi, I think of a hard-on.
Do you?
If
A
someone goes,
detached one. Jesus.
if they say it's a semi,
It's like semi-professional. I think of a professional with a semi. Someone who's really just enjoys his work too much. Just a little bit too much.
yeah.
Have you ever been aroused on stage? Were you talking about semi-professional? Has it ever happened to you during a gig or something
It's happened
like
to
that?
me filming, yeah.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
That's a long story.
Go on, we've got time. It's an hour
then
long,
don't
this
tell
show.
it.
No, it's a long show. It's a long show. Well, it feels long. Go on. Joke.
Okay. Why are you order? Okay. I was filming Cold Feet, and there was an episode that was kind of very sexual, and I had a fantasy girlfriend who worked behind the bar, and I had my wife as well, and what we had to do was film two scenes. So one was like, it was like one that I was making love to my wife, but I was seeing the girl that was my fantasy. But really hard job. I had to do it to both. Yeah. So, anyway, so they got Faye in, and she had to straddle me, and she kind of like simulated quite a way away from the old chap. So there wasn't really any contact.
Very considerate.
When they brought in my fantasy girl, who I was subsequently told, I think she was a dolly dealer on Play Your Cards, right? And I think these weren't real, the way they moved. Anyway, she did the polar opposite and got right on it.
Right.
And ground me.
Right. And then you became...
Yeah, well, then she got off me, and then there was a kind of a makeup artist went... So, yeah, it was a semi, though.
It was
wasn't
a
the
semi.
full salute. It wasn't the...
I wonder if is there a job on TV sets, like, on porn sets you get a fluffer. Is there a defluffer for
Defluffer.
sex scenes that runs on and distracts you with
there's
some
someone-
facts about the Battle of Britain?
Yeah.
They
do. I used to do it, and I would always carry a picture of Anne Widdecombe, and I would just bring it here. So, good, OK. And then you run off. Yeah.
But could you joke? I mean, did you joke about it with...
Faye was furious. And she tells the story that...
because she didn't arouse you?
No, I didn't get it up for Faye.
Yeah.
But if Faye just moved down a few inches further, I would gladly have
She was
done
nowhere
it.
near.
It's
But
only
I do
right.
have another one. Another actor did a similar thing happened. He went in a pair of pants, and the wardrobe gave him another. They double up your pants usually to protect your modesty. And my mate, he had to do a similar. My mate told me about he had to do a scene where same thing happened, and she got off, and then they had to rejig the cameras, and he looked down, and those stickers that say quality control, checked by number 2. It was stuck right on the end, and he had a look, and he went, bloody hell. Anyway, he turned to the actress who he'd just in the scene with and said, here, have a look at this. You're not going to believe it. She went, what? Go on. And he went, and it had gone. Oh, my God. The sticker had come off, and she went, you dirty... out. And he was frantically looking for... So there you go.
To see the rest of that wonderful episode, you can watch it now on UK TV Play. You can also continue listening for a few choice stories that didn't quite make the show. So, Matt Lucas, I can't believe that you weren't popular at school.
Oh, well, no. Well, what it was I had a couple of, sad stories from primary school. And all it was that when I was about 10 years old, we got a letter at school to say we're doing our first mufti day. Does everyone know what mufti day is?
Own clothes.
Bring your own clothes. It's like pay 5p, bring your own trousers, 10p for a tie, and there were, you know, it was all to raise money for charity. And I got very excited, and I came into school in a full cowboy outfit, chaps, a gun, and everything. I wasn't even really a sort of fan of cowboys, but I had this outfit in my cupboard, and I was ever so excited. And then I walked into school, and everyone else was just in like a Liverpool T-shirt or everything like that, and then nobody played with me the whole day. And I've got no hair, and so I then just sort of had to play on my own. But because of the way I was dressed, I just sort of walked around the perimeter of the playground, like being in character, going, "You better not come near me, I got a gun." Like, as if, like, I would not lose face if I sort of stayed in character. But I didn't have a good time at primary school. This other thing happened, which was that we had this school play that was over 2 nights. It was a musical called The Elements, and I was playing the drum in the musical. And when I wasn't on stage, we were all being kept in classrooms. Anyway, the morning after the first night, there was an assembly. And the headmaster came out and said, "I've got some very, very serious news. A very bad thing happened last night. Mrs. Carpenter's silk scarf that she left in the classroom." Don't laugh.
Sorry. Can't you build it so well?
Yeah. Was Mrs. Carpenter's silk scarf was cut up last night. And this is her favourite scarf. And we're absolutely furious, and we're going to find out who did this. Anyway, that was a sort of gossip of the school that day. And then at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 3:30, there was a knock at the door. There was the headmaster and 2 girls, and the 2 girls pointed at me, and I was taken out of the class and taken to the headmaster's office, and these girls had said that I'd cut up this scarf, which I hadn't done. I didn't know the teacher. If I'd known her, I would have cut it up, of course. But I didn't know the teacher, and I had no reason to cut it up, and I guess they were covering for themselves or a friend of theirs. And so he was asking me, why did I cut the scarf up and everything like this? And I didn't know what to do, and I ran out of his office and I ran home. And my grandmother was at my house looking after me that day, and I said, "I'm not going in tonight to play the drum," because it was the second night of the play, because everyone thinks I cut up this scarf. I'm not doing it. And my grandmother taught me a brilliant lesson. She said, if you don't go in, everybody will think that you're guilty. So it's actually really important that you go in and hold your head up high. So I went in that night, and lots of people pointed fingers at me. You know, it's a big deal, guys. And but I played the drum, and then went home. But the next morning, I said, "I'm not going into school. That's it. Everyone thinks I cut up the scarf. I'm not going in." And the headmaster called the house, and I answered the phone, and I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not coming in," and put the phone down. And the headmaster turned up to my house in his minibus, and my dad came from work, and there was this big inquisition in the living room, and I was sat there in my E.T. pyjamas, and I just said, "Look, I didn't do it." And I think, you know, a big thing when you're at primary school is right and wrong. Justice is really important. Yeah. And I said, "Look, I didn't cut up this scarf, and it's not fair." And he said to me, "All right, I've spoken to you for long enough. I truly believe that you didn't cut up the scarf. Come back to school now." And I said, "I'm not coming back in." And he said, "Why not?" I said, "Because everybody thinks I cut up this scarf." He said, "Well, it's all right." I said, "No, I'm only coming in if you call an assembly and tell the whole school that I didn't cut up the scarf. Otherwise, I'm not coming in." So cut to school hall, 45 minutes later, now in school uniform, and the entire school is assembled. And the headmaster steps forward and he says, "I've called this assembly for 2 reasons. Firstly, Matthew did not cut up Miss Carpenter's scarf. Secondly, there are no ghosts in the girls' toilets." And that was it. So, yeah. Yeah.
Thirdly, Matt is not a real cowboy.
Yeah, exactly. I was about 10 years old, yeah.
Did he own up? Did he ever own up who did the scarf?
I believe it was Jason Mittelman.
I knew it!
Yeah. That was the word on the street. I don't know if it's true.
I would love it if the end of this story now was, and do you know what? I did cut up the scarf.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good. No, I didn't.
What did Mrs. Carpenter say?
I never spoke to her. She was one of those teachers that didn't teach me. I never met her, never spoke to her.
It's a nasty piece of work. Did she deserve it, do you think?
Well, I like to think she did.
Yeah.
I once bought a scarf.
You
Nice
never bought a scarf.
I did.
I do not believe this for a
Do
moment.
you know what? I shouldn't tell
To go
this.
with the lime green
I shouldn't
trousers.
tell this.
Yeah.
No, tell it.
We'll cut this out.
No, we won't.
It was a cashmere scarf.
Yeah.
It cost about £60 from Liberty. You know, they only have nice things in Liberty. It's
nice.
not cheap, but gave it to my stepmother for Christmas, I think. And the next time I went round, it was in the dog basket.
What a fabulous looking dog.
Oh, the Yorkshire Terrier was living it up. Its bed was a Liberty cashmere scarf.
That's mean. That's pretty
Do you
vicious.
think it might have been misjudged? It might have been one of those scarves that kind of opens out quite broadly and may have been kind of misconstrued as a dog blanket.
I thought Alan's doing all right. He obviously wants our dog to have a nice sleep and something
I'm
in
trying to save your stepmother's face a bit here.
I mean, there's nothing wrong. It's your scarf. You can do what you like with it.
Well, true.
Does she then wear a dog blanket on a cold night?
I couldn't work out what to make of it. You know, should you?
Well, she hates
maybe
you.
Some people. She might hate me. Well, maybe
Put to the quick mat.
maybe you shouldn't give nice gifts to some people.
No.
They're not deserving.
No, they don't.
Give them an apple, have
Don't
done.
appreciate. Just
Yeah.
get a cheap old scarf.
Yeah.
From a cheap scarf shop.
Yeah. Fuck her. Sorry, a member of your family, I do apologise.
We better leave that there. So can you tell me why you're not? I understand that you're not to be trusted with fireworks. Is that true?
Oh,
What's that
my brother. I have an older brother, and he. I think if he was growing up now, he would be like on Ritalin or something. He was like a crazy, like insane teenager and child, and kind of out of control. Hilarious.
Your older brother. Is he the eldest of how many?
Oh, that's just two of us.
Two of
He's 3 years older. But he didn't need much sleep when we were kids. He was always like the one coming into my room like really early, going, "Let's go and do this thing. Let's go and do it. It'll be really fun." I'll be like, "Okay." And it was just after fireworks night, Guy Fawkes night, and we had some fireworks left over, and he found a Catherine wheel. And he came into my room, it was like 6 a.m, and he's like, let's go and light a Catherine wheel.
How old are you?
I was 8 and he was 11.
What
And
could possibly go wrong?
and he was also one of these kids that when he did a terrible thing, he'd go, "Did you just do that terrible thing?" He'd just go, "No." Like he was like he was a liar as well. And so he said, "Let's go and light the Catherine wheel." I was like, "Okay." And then we went into the lounge room and he put the Catherine wheel in the fireplace. Right. And if you didn't give a shit about consequences, it's an amazing thing to do. And he lit the Catherine wheel, and we sort of like leaned in and lit it, and it immediately like straight past us and started bouncing around and setting fire to everything it touched. You know, like sort of spinning curtains and pillows
Cool.
and
A worm in a butcher shop.
And then it sort of went into the corner and went really, really fast. So it sort of burrowed this like sort of charcoal circle into the carpet, and then fizzed and came down to nothing. And my parents came in just like it, and they were like, "Jesus Christ, Ben! Did you just light a firework in here?" And he went, "No, Sarah was smoking." I was like, "The room is on fire." How could it?
Sarah was smoking. 8-year-old Sarah was smoking.
What? Yeah. But yeah, he was really fun to grow up with. He just did stuff like that all the time.